I'm announcing the House of Representatives moving forward with an official impeachment inquiry.
This is a clear and unprecedented abuse of power.
I would recommend that they start an investigation into the Biden. China should start an investigation.
He's becoming self-impeachable.
No one is above the law.
So you did ask Ukraine to look into Joe Biden? Of course I did.
Contact your senators today. Urge them to put country over party. When the time comes, we're counting on them to be patriots and vote to remove Trump from office.
You could charge the President of the United States with obstruction of justice after he left office.
Yes.
There's a paper trail.
If it was a secret vote, 30 Republican senators would vote to impeach Trump.
What did you want President Zelensky to do about Vice President Biden and his son Hunter?
Are you talking to me?
I can't wait to come back. See you in Ukraine soon.
Now let me take a wild guess here. You're Brett, right?
Correct.
I thought so.
I got into Yale Law School.
Check out the big brain on Brett.
It's the #1 law school in the country.
You're a smart motherfucker, that's right.
I have no connections there. I got there by busting my tail.
Looks like me and Vincent caught you boys at breakfast. Sorry about that. Did you have it?
Beer. I still like beer.
You mind if I have some of your tasty beverage to wash this down?
Sometimes I had too many beers, but I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out, and I never sexually assaulted anyone.
Yes, you did! Yes, you did, Brett!
He is warm, friendly, unassuming. He's the nicest person.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Okay, it's Saturday, October 19th, 2019, and I'm reading through the Trump Apocalypse News, Trump Apocalypse News Service. Okay, so let me, if you're flooded and inundated with Trump news, yeah, so am I. And this may end up on the cutting room floor. I don't know. It depends on what debacle or scandal or lie or catastrophe overtakes the disasters of the last 2 or 3 days. So yesterday, Friday, 2 Republicans came out in favor of impeachment. Now, I realize this is going to upset some of the Republicans who happen to be listening to this program. Yep, there are a lot of people that don't like Trump, and a lot of them are Republicans. Actually, I follow the Republicans on Twitter that don't like Trump, and they have wonderfully cutting, sarcastic tweets against Trump, and I can name some of them. George Conway tweets constantly about how awful Trump is, and then how he should be impeached. Okay, George Conway's a Republican. I follow David Frum, who is a Republican, and he is terrified that Trump is a authoritarian would-be dictator, and he tweets regularly. And again, I'm reading his tweets today. David Frum is a Republican. Let's see. Rick Wilson, I follow. Rick Wilson is a Republican. He tweets, gosh, when he's on a roll, he's tweeting constantly. I mean, usually about Trump, usually about how awful Trump is. And let me remind you, Rick Wilson, the Republican. So these are not socialists and communists. I'm directing this comment now to the WBCK audience, in particular Rank and Rank's group. I'm talking about Republicans who are not socialists and not communists, as far as we know. And they're not Putin agents either, let me point out. They're longtime Republicans, and they are horrified at Trump. It's not just that they disagree with Trump. It's not just that they disagree with him or they don't like him personally. They're horrified at Trump. Okay, so I list them, George Conway, Rick Wilson and David Frum. Then there's the ethics advisor, Painter. I think Richard Painter. He tweets regularly, and I follow him. He's Republican. He was in the Bush administration. He's the ethics advisor. So there's a whole slew of... Jennifer Rubin is a Republican conservative. She's not a socialist. She's not a communist. Okay, I'm speaking now to a certain group of people that listen to a certain radio station that think that Trump is super good, and he's good. Anybody who criticizes him as a communist and a socialist. No, Jennifer Rubin is. Anna Navarro. Actually, Anna Navarro was a Republican committee woman. She was a prominent, it's called media relations person, Anna Navarro, and she's for impeachment. I believe she is on board with impeachment. Not only does she, yes. I'm gonna double check that. She can't stand Trump, and I follow her. So I'm following. Did I mention? So I'm following 5 or 6 Republicans, at least. Maybe there's more on my little thing. Painter, from Rick Wilson. There's so many Republicans on Twitter. Oh. Yeah. There's so many Republicans on Twitter that tweet regularly, and the only thing, I guess the only slight difference they all agree that Trump is terrible. Some of them may differ on whether impeachment is the mechanism to get rid of him or not, or whether we should try to go through an election, try not to have it tampered by the Russians or the Ukrainians or the Chinese, whoever Trump is trying to invite in to rig the election. Who knows? Ukrainian, well, not Turkey, but Ukrainians are now. The Ukrainian scandal is blossoming. So let me go over what has happened. Let's see, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. On Friday, there was a bunch of news. A congressman, I've forgotten his name now. Oh my gosh, is it McNally? I can't remember the state. He is the first Republican congressman after Amash. Well, Amash switched parties after, to favor impeachment. And his statement was, I got to get his name. His statement was that the Mick Mulvaney press conference trying to explain the Trump phone call quid pro quo to Ukraine was such a disaster, such a freaking disaster. Because here, let me summarize the press conference that Mulvaney, who is acting chief of staff, not the real chief of staff, the acting chief of staff, because Donald Trump can't get a real permanent chief of staff. He's fired like 4 of them, right? Because he's a super manager. So let me get back. I'll get back to Mick Mulvaney gave a press conference on Thursday. Yes, on Thursday he gave the mother of disasters of all disastrous press conferences. Yeah, the mother of the worst press conferences in the history of the country. Yes, where he comes out and the press asks him, well, what about this Ukraine phone call with the quid pro quo and the emoluments file? Well, it's the quid pro quo and the asking of foreign aid to rig the election. I can't believe I just said that sentence. I just said that the president called the leader of Turkey to help him rig the election. hey, this is Trump's America now. It's criming all the time. Yeah, criming all the time, rigging elections. Hey, that's what we do. Okay, so let me get back to the Republican congressman that's calling for impeachment. So that was news on Friday. This Republican congressman was so appalled that Mick Mulvaney said, yeah, Trump called the president of Ukraine asking for help and trying to get on dirt on Biden. Yeah, that's what he did. And and I've been so busy trying to follow the other news. There's of course disaster news in Syria, and Turkey is now invading, and I don't know if there's a humanitarian crisis, blah, blah, blah. So it's just one disaster after another. Yes, can I give a big thumbs up for one disaster after another? This is making America... I don't have a good thing for this. Yeah, one disaster, apocalypse after another. One disaster, crime, unconstitutional. Okay. So Mick Mulvaney in the press conference, and there. Oh, and you could ask yourself, where is the press person, the press secretary? Well, he's fired them all. Now, remember, we'll go back into the distant past. The previous press secretary, wasn't her name Sarah Huckabee Sanders? Yes, it was Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And she had taken over from somebody else who had been fired, or resigned. And he had taken over from somebody else who had been fired or resigned. So, and can I tell you frankly, I don't even know who the press secretary, there is a press secretary. She's never heard or seen from. Her name, what is her name? It's a woman, but she didn't do this press conference. Mulvaney had to do it. Wow, I may have to do this in two things. So Mulvaney gets out there, and yep, he says, yeah, Trump called the Ukrainian president and asked for help in getting dirt on Biden. Yeah, that's what he did. So they're actually confessing the quote-unquote crime on television now. And for several days, Trump's talking about there was no quid pro quo. I didn't ask for anything. There was nothing. Yep, there was a quid pro quo. And Mick Mulvaney just admitted to it, and Trump admitted to it later. And then we have the transcript which shows that there's a quid pro quo. Okay, well, God. Well, I'm going to have to pare this down. So, and then another person came out for impeachment in the Republican Party. And let me see. Was it a governor? I think it was a governor. Oh, gosh. I'm going to have to double check. Oh, God. Okay. Let me stop. Yes, I was talking about the news of the end of this week, October 19th. And I talked about the congressman coming out, first Republican congressman after Amash, coming out in favor of impeaching Donald Trump. And let me just read the tweet. It says, GOP Congressman Francis Rooney announces support for impeachment inquiry, citing Mulvaney's disastrous press conference. I want to get the facts and do the right thing, because I'll be looking at my children a lot longer than I'm looking at anybody in this building. That was the GOP Congressman Rooney supporting impeachment, and that came out Friday after the Mulvaney press conference, where he basically admitted that Trump committed a crime. But I don't know what. Well, yeah, I don't know where Trumpers are. I guess you just don't care. But okay. So, and then the other person that came out for impeachment on Friday, for the similar reason, was Kasich. John Kasich, who ran for president, was governor of Ohio. He came out and said, "Yeah, we have to have an impeachment. The president has to be impeached and then tried by the Senate." And I think the straw that broke the camel's back for him was that press conference as well, because the Mulvaney press conference. And maybe I'll put the press conference on, and you can decide. Well, it's not a question of is it a fact anymore. It's a fact. Trump called the guy and asked for help and said, if you don't give me help, we're not going to give you military arms, and then you will be invaded by Russia. And Trump is a Putin asset or ally. So so that was the quid pro quo, And let me just go over the other news. Oh boy, here. Okay, let me go over. Here's a tweet. I'm not sure who this is from. This is a journalist, and I don't have the name handy. It says this is a review of the disaster week. He's reviewing the disaster horrible week that Trump has had with the Ukrainian business, the Ukrainian phone call, and the Turkish green light to invade the green light for the Turks to invade northern Syria and then slaughter, kill, move the Turks. I don't know enough about what's going on there. I know it's bad, and that's what people are saying it's bad. And here's his short tweet, which is a pretty good summary of how bad the situation is. Now, it says here, no single person will end this. It will be the death by 1,000 cuts. Over the last 72 hours alone, Fiona Hill cut him. Fiona Hill was Trump's Russia, Eastern Europe advisor. Okay. She came and testified about the Ukraine business. Ukraine phone call, let's call it. George Kent cut him. I know that George Kent was testifying before Congress. Gordon Sondland cut him. Gordon Sondland is the ambassador to the EU who helped arrange the phone call and was communicating with Rudy Giuliani about trying to get the Ukrainians to get dirt on Joe Biden. This is all disgusting. It's just disgusting I have to even talk about this. But this is your man, Trump. And can I thank you again? Let me thank you, Calhoun County, and thank you, Michigan, for voting for this Trump failed real estate casino owner guy. All right. Sorry, that was an interjection. Maybe I'll cut that out. Okay. Gordon Sondland cut him. He testified before Congress about the Ukrainian phone call, and there's a whole Rudy Giuliani is running around all of Europe trying to get dirt on Biden. I don't know, and I don't know who's paying Rudy Giuliani. I don't know. That's another interesting question. We'll go. Okay, 129 House Republicans nicked him. That was with 129 that voted to oppose Trump's policy on green lighting the Turkish move into northern Syria and abandoning the Kurds. Let's see, how many Republicans? 129 House. They had a House resolution, and 129 Republicans voted for the Democratic House resolution. Kinzinger cut him. I'm not sure about that either. I think Kinzinger is a Republican too. Senator Murkowski, she's a Republican, cut him. Romney slashed him. Now, let me go into Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney just came out with a statement saying it's going to be a humanitarian disaster. in Syria if Turkey goes in and invades. We are abandoning our longtime allies, the Kurds, in favor of an authoritarian thug in Turkey. Okay. So let's see. Is there any? What are the other news? I can go over here. So we've got calls for impeachment from several Republicans, and Mitt Romney abandoning Trump on foreign policy and giving actually a speech on the floor. Oh, and then we got the Trump Mar-a-Lago business. Trump is going to go to the have the G7 at the Mar-a-Lago. He's going to try, and that's a violation of the Emoluments Clause, of course. You know, he should have divested of that property. And there are bed bugs. I have to say, yes, there are bed bug problems at. Oh, this is not at Mar-a-Lago. I'm sorry, I said Mar-a-Lago. Trump wants the G7 to meet at the Doral Country Club, Country Club in Florida, somewhere in Florida. I don't know where it is. And because Trump is such a horrible manager and doesn't know how to manage anything, let alone the presidency or the administration, that there are bedbug problems was bedbug problems in the Doral Hotel Country Club. So much so that there was a class action lawsuit. I can't believe I'm saying this sentence. There was a class action lawsuit against the president's Doral Country Club because of an outbreak of bed bugs. And Trump settled it. Okay. Which means he sort of gave up and said, okay, we'll give you some money. We'll give you some money because, yeah, you were bitten up. Okay. So, aside from the constitutional violations, aside from the constitutional impeachable offenses about inviting foreign leaders to your private club, and there's the problem of the bed bugs. All right. So that's classic Trump horribleness. But so, what else can I say? Quickly. Oh, well. I can read this tweet. Okay, here's another problem that Trump's going to have with the Syria-Turkey disaster. I'm quoting a journalist, Engel, an NBC journalist. U.S. officials tell me alarm bell ringing among diplomats in D.C. that the U.S. Could one day be held responsible for crimes against humanity for the ethnic cleansing of Syrian Kurds by opening the door to it, watching it, encouraging it, Trump's tweets and statements, and not stopping it. Okay, so Trump is in trouble now, not only at the state level crimes, not only federal level crimes, but now there are international crimes and maybe crimes against humanity. And I would say certainly the way the detentions of the migrant children, along the border could be classified as a humanitarian violation of basic human rights. And let's see what else. Oh, Trump says the Kurds, they got to be cleaned out. Got to be cleaned out. You got to, Turks want a clean area. So I don't know how many people are going to be killed. I don't know how many refugees are going to be. Trump doesn't care. No, he doesn't care about that because he doesn't have a soul, because he doesn't have a conscience. So, yeah, no soul, no conscience, no shame, no judgment. God. Okay. So there may be a humanitarian rank. WBCK people, you sit down. There may be a humanitarian disaster in the Middle East caused by a stupid president named Donald Trump, which you elected, or you helped elect. Okay, well, I think I've gotten most of it. Yeah, Ohio Governor Kasich backs impeachment. Okay. Okay, here's Kasich's statement, and I'll end it here. Okay, after hearing Mulvaney, this is talking about the Mulvaney press conference, which he referred to the Ukrainian, or the phone call to Trump's phone call to Ukraine. After hearing Mulvaney's comments, I now believe that the real Donald Trump should be impeached by the U.S. House and face trial in the U.S. Senate. This is not a decision I've made lightly, but it's clear now that a line was crossed. This is abuse of power. Action must be taken. Now, and I'm going to repeat, John Kasich is not a socialist, and he's not a communist. He's a longtime member, longtime member of the Republican Party, and he was governor of Ohio. Gosh. Okay, Francis Rooney, that's the congressman calling for impeachment. Okay, I think I covered it. Yeah, I think I covered it. There's news about Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, no, I've covered it.
Cancer Center. Tillerson said the greatest foreign threats are China's rising influence and what he called a belligerent Russia. He also talked about the president.
How would you describe Donald Trump?
Well, most of you probably know some of this, but I had never met Donald Trump until the day he asked me to be Secretary of State. He acts on his instincts. In some respects, that looks like impulsiveness, but it's not his intent to act on impulse. I think he really is trying to act on his instincts. It was challenging for me, coming from the disciplined, highly process-oriented ExxonMobil Corporation, to go to work for a man who is pretty undisciplined, doesn't like to read, doesn't read briefing reports, doesn't like to get into the details of a lot of things, but rather just kind of says, look, this is what I believe, and you can try to convince me otherwise, but most of the time you're not going to do that.
How did your relationship go off the rails?
Well, I think part of it was, obviously, we are starkly different in our styles. We did not have a common value system. When the president would say, well, here's what I want to do, and here's how I want to do it. And I'd have to say to him, well, Mr. President, I understand what you want to do, but you can't do it that way. It violates the law. It violates a treaty.
It violates the law. Yeah, it's illegal. Yeah, you can't do illegal stuff, Donald. That's why you're being impeached. You can't do illegal stuff because we're a nation of laws and we have a constitution. Sorry, Donald, I know you don't like that. You know what? It would help, Donald, if you could actually read the Constitution or have someone read it to you and explain it to you. And as Rex Tillerson, who's not a socialist, not a communist, he's a corporate executive type, says Donald Trump doesn't like to read. And that means he doesn't read, and he doesn't read reports. So let's go on with the interview. So,
You know, he got really frustrated. I didn't know how to conduct my affairs with him any other way than in a very straightforward fashion. And I think he grew tired of me being the guy every day that told him you can't do that. And let's talk about what we can do.
It's very, very interesting. Well, it is.
Interesting or jaw-dropping, one of the two. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he goes on to say, he was proud of his government service. He would return, he says, if the president act. But I mean, what he said there, sometimes he told the president it violates the law, it violates the treaty. He got frustrated by that, and they didn't share a common set of values.
Well, the values word is the one that's most interesting, because the others are stylistic differences. The president has his way of behaving, Tillerson has his, but...
Yeah, okay. Trump, I think Tillerson is saying Trump doesn't have a work ethic, doesn't have any kind of ethic. Yeah, doesn't have any kind of ethic. Doesn't want to follow the laws, doesn't want to follow the Constitution, doesn't want to seek advice, doesn't want to read, doesn't want to plan or deliberate. He just wants to do stuff. And so that's why, yeah, that's why we're going through impeachment. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I can't do that. No, I can't. Oh, I can do it. Okay, I was complaining, ranting. The previous clip, well, the clip I just did was about the riot, the Nazi white supremacist riot in Charlottesville, Virginia. What was it, 2017? I guess this was after Trump got elected, and the white supremacists and the neo-Nazis and the deplorables were feeling their oats, or feeling powerful because their man got elected. So let's take a look at our local radio station, which, let me point out again, has a monopoly. You have a monopoly. You have a license to use the public airwaves, and you also have a monopoly, because there's no other talk news radio station in the county, I don't think, other than you guys. And guess what? What's your lineup? So we'll go through the lineup. Gordon Deal, I don't know who that is. He's a white guy. Oh, Tim Collins, white guy. Local white guy. Rank, local white guy of Eastern European heritage. White guy, though. Oh, Rush Limbaugh. White, WASP. Yeah. Hannity, white. White male. Wait, I didn't say male. Okay, white male. White male. White male. White male. Hannity, white male. Joe Pags. I don't know what his real name is. Longer than Pags. White male. Lars Larson. Ooh, white male privilege. Ooh, I can smell the privilege. I can smell the privilege right off the computer screen. White male privilege? No, white male. Mike Gallagher. Nice white male. And then two white males. Hey, thumbs up for white males. We dominate. I have to congratulate you people. How this is tolerated today, it's amazing. You don't have any other voices, none, from any other. That's not. Okay, is there anything else I can say about this? You used to have Dr. Laura. And Dr. Laura was a right-winger, and she was kind of in the Neanderthal period of relations, but you got rid of Dr. Laura. You had to fire her. Oh, I think she said something racist too. I don't know why you fired her. I can't remember. They got rid of her. She was fired. She said something stupid or tweeted something stupid. I can't remember what. I think she said something stupid on the air. I don't think it was just a tweet. And they had to fire her posterior. But whatever. So no women, no other voices. God. So I have to hear. So what we hear 24/7 is basically recycled hatred, white hatred privilege, or white resentment. That's what we hear 24/7. Tim, there you go, Tim. Here, Tim. Here, I'll put the pointer. Tim. That's what we're getting. And I'm sick of it. I think a lot of people are sick of it. A lot of people don't even go to your place. I only go to hear rank and what the right-winger community, what's bubbling up in the right-winger community. So I'm not caught blindsided. But, I don't bother with any of the other people. By the way, let's look over college dropout. College dropout. I don't know how. Would he have 1 year, 2 year college? Hannity, college dropout. Now I could do if I have the time and the energy, is to see how unqualified Joe Pags is to talk nationwide. I'm assuming he's nationwide broadcast. Okay, syndicated. So, does he have a 4-year college degree? Maybe not. Is it even in journalism? It can't be in journalism. Nah. He'd have to actually know how to write and write long sentences and be accurate. But maybe, I don't know. I'm going out on a limb here. Considering that the other people don't have any journalism background or any, not even politics or economics, anything like that. Business. I think Rank's got a business degree, right? From Central Michigan? I don't know. Okay, Lars Larson, I don't know. Maybe he actually graduated from college. Great for him. I don't know. Mike Gallagher, I have no clue who he is. And these other guys, I don't know. So, okay. Okay, I'm going to play a clip of the Nazis and the white supremacists demonstrating or marching in Charlottesville, Virginia, which was how many years? What was that? 2017. Now, if this doesn't scare you, I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with you. The Civil War was fought from 1861 or 1860 to 1864, 1865, which was how many years ago? 150. Yeah, almost 150 years ago, or maybe a little bit more than 150 years ago, and we are still debating race in this country. We're debating whether to have. Oh, I'm going into a rant. I better stop. Let me show you this.
This is 2017. Like, it should not be anything like this. Like, kids go to school together. Like, children are back here getting hair.
Wrong. Let me start from the beginning. Wait. Okay, take two. I'm going to start from the beginning.
If people get intimidated, that's on them. I mean, our purpose is here is to stand for the statue, stand for our heritage and our history, for our people, which are being scrubbed off the planet by these Marxists and leftists. They're literally pulling up all our culture from the roots. They're not pulling up anybody else's culture. It's specifically Southern culture, white culture, Christian culture, and they're freaking throwing it all in the trash.
It's our heritage. It's not hate, it's our heritage.
Wow, that sounds like racist to me. Southern culture. And I translate Southern culture as white culture and slavery culture and white superiority culture and, well, maybe a little bit of ignorance thrown in there. We don't want too much reading and writing. Sorry. It's a little, hey, I'm generalizing there, but... yeah, segregation. We want segregation. We want that discrimination thing going on, and yeah, we're proud of slavery. Are we proud of slavery? Apparently, we still are proud of slavery in the South. Those white people still thinking that slavery was not so bad. Yes, actually, I've heard that. I've heard that a lot since Trump was elected. Slavery wasn't so bad, especially if you're not a slave. Oh, no, I threw that in. No, slavery wasn't so bad because they took care of the slaves, right? Okay, let's get back to the riot in Charlottesville with the neo-Nazis. They're good neo-Nazis. They're not bad neo-Nazis, right? Just ask the president. They're good Nazis. They're good KK people. Yeah.
This is 2017. Like, it should not be anything like this. Like, kids go to school together. Like, children are back here getting haircuts. They should not have to witness this.
You should not be here. I'm here because our Republican values are number one, standing up for local white identity, our identities under threat. Number two, the free market. And number three, killing Jews. Open borders for Israel. What?
Oh, Rank, maybe you're listening to this. No, you're not listening to this. Rank, did you just hear that guy? I gotta play that again. Did he say kill the Jews? Okay, I'm gonna go over that one more time, Rank, because I think your message, your conservative message, is being warped out of, I don't know what. It's warped out of any, I don't know, reasonable human. Well, okay, so he said, capitalism. Throw a little slavery in there and discrimination, you got some good capitalism going on. Okay, so we got capitalism, because you're a WBCK is for capitalism, right, Rank? You are. You're a real capitalist, right? So is the Trump. Trump's he's sort of a capitalist, but I know you are, Rank. You're a capitalist through and through. So, so we got capitalism, according to him, and then what did he say at the end? Kill the Jews. Rank, did you hear that? What? Capitalism. Let me play it again. God, I can't believe it. Wait, I didn't even know this. Oh, there he is. Hold on. Yeah, here we go.
Because our Republican values are number one, standing up for local white identity, our identities under threat. Number two, the free market. And number three, killing Jews.
Killing Jews? Wait, let me play it one more time.
Number one, standing up for local white identity, our identities under threat. Number two, the free market. And
free market.
Number three, killing Jews.
Killing? Wait, I don't know if I heard that right. That guy, wait. Rank, you're Trumpers on camera, and I'm sure this guy voted for Trump, right? These are Trumpers and they're proud. And they're demonstrating in the street how proud they are. And Trump isn't going to criticize them. No, he didn't. He said some of them were good. Some of them were, some are bad, some are good. The counter demonstration, they're bad. Some of them were good, some of them bad. We don't know. But he just said, kill the Jew. Let me play it one more time. He said, white. Did he say white identity? White identity, free market. Yeah, good. Rank, that's for you. Free market. Then he said, kill the Jews? What? Let me go back.
Our Republican values are number one.
Republican values.
Standing up for local white identity, our identities under threat. Number two, the free market. And number three, killing Jews.
Killing Jews? Hey, thumbs up, Rank. Thumbs up. WBCK message is really sinking in.
You're not born today! None of us are born today!
I'm out here because this is my town and I don't want to like being intimidated. And I mean, I've seen, buses flying anti-abortion stuff and, all sorts of racist stuff. It's just disgusting.
Losers! Weak! So weak! A disgrace!
We was about to walk down the alley there. We changed our mind and stay here. And then right after that, he came plowing down through the street. He backed up. He was here, and he backed up. He took up speed and just came down and plowed right through the crowd all the way down. I know somebody's dead. It's happened in my city, and it's the first time I witnessed this. 65 years. Never witnessed anything like that. And hatred is what caused all of this hatred.
It ain't over until we make it over. It is not going to be up to the people who just comes out in the street. It's also going to be the folks out there who are concerned about this kind of hatred and bigotry and want it to come to an end. You cannot let it grow. You cannot ignore them, and most certainly, you cannot vote for them.
Okay. Okay, wait.
It's either the peace of mind of a standard mileage warranty, or it isn't. For those.
Okay, the ad is playing. So that fellow that was, and I'm going to play it one more time because I just cannot believe it. No, I can't get to it. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, okay, here it is. Oh, I'm gonna play that fellow one more time, and I thought he said Republican values. He said he used the word Republican values, and then the three that he considers Republican values, which would be white identity, and let me mention here WBCK, Tim Collins, rank. Is it David rank? I can't remember. That all of your talk people, all of your talkers, 24/7 practically, 24/7 talkers are white men. All of them, white men. That shouldn't be. Can you throw in a woman? Can you throw in a minority person? One? Just one? Maybe two? You people are the radio network of the white male. And that's sad. It's sad and disgusting. And you have a monopoly. You have the only radio station, talk radio, in the area. Certainly in the county. Okay. And maybe to get a talk radio, if there is a liberal talk radio, I'd have to go to perhaps Kalamazoo. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't searched for liberal communist socialist talk radio. I don't think liberal communist talk radio even exists. But okay, let me play that one guy one more time. And Rank, you think about it. And Tim Collins, think about killing your men, your people. Talking about killing Jews. I can't believe it. Okay, let me play. Let me get to him now. Hold on.
Like this, like kids go to school together, like children are back here getting haircuts. They should not have to witness this.
You should not be here. I'm here because our Republican values are number one, standing up for local white identity, our identities under threat. Number two, the free market. And number three, killing Jews.
Number three, killing Jews? Okay.
Access Vision. Your voice, your community.